Hello, hello everybody. Usually 4 o'clock it starts, but again I come on a little bit early to make sure that everything's working. My little green dots are working, so it means that my microphone is working, and just waiting for somebody to come online now, and then we'll check to make sure that everything is working. So Sunday afternoon again. Let's have a look. Let's just wait for somebody to pop up. Oh, Jim. Morning, Jim. That's very early. Oh, morning, Nathan. Wow, you're up early. Hang on, up early. What time is it in the UK now? Oh, yeah, early for you, matey. But good morning. How are you doing, Nathan? Let's have a look. Okay, make sure my yeah, type is working okay. So fantastic. Oh, 8 people. Wow. 15 minutes early and 8 people have joined us already. Fandabidosi. Thank you very much for those early people to log in. I think everybody knows now that I usually start a little bit earlier just to make sure that everything's working. So let me just have a look on here. Okie dokie. So 9 people in the house. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Nathan on the early shift railway. It's nice and dead. Okay, well, as long as it's quiet. Sunday morning. Oh, Sunday afternoon as it is here. We've got a lot of things to talk about today. I've done a lot of things this week, and I've done a lot of things, and we're going to talk about a lot of things today. So I'm already armed with my cup of coffee, retired and living the dream. Just made it. I don't think I'll get a chance to lay on the hammock today. The sofa. So I've just made up type of thing. But anyway, it's nice to be able to have the opportunity to sit out here. I mean, normally my live streams last about, 3 hours or so. Let's see how long it lasts today. But as I say, as long as there's people talking, and I'll answer any questions that people may have. So if anybody's got any questions that they ask, put a queue and then write the question type thing. Okay, now, can anybody hear this in the background, the aeroplane? Can anybody hear that? Good morning, Steve. David Kidd, good morning. Yeah, love hearing the birds sing around your house. But could you hear that, the noise of the aeroplane? Now I'm going to ask people questions as to what do they think that the airplane flies over my house for every day. Every day it flies over the house. Well, today I found out the reason why. Well, I sort of knew the reason why it did it anyway, but I went and had a look at it today. So put your answers in the comments box. See what you know. You don't get a prize for winning if you guess what it is, but it's just, what do you think the plane flies over my house for every day? Oh, you couldn't hear the plane. Oh, well, maybe this microphone doesn't pick it up, but it's, for me, it's pretty loud anyway, because it does it every single day. But today I went to see why, and I spent maybe 2 hours or so there, but it was very, very good fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I'll say I'll give the answers to the question a little bit later on in the video as to what the plane does why it flies over my house every day. Not directly over, but to the left or the right or whatever. But every day you can hear it. And about every 30 minutes, 15, 30 minutes or so, you can hear it. Yeah, the bird song on the morning when I get up and have my cup of coffee. I have my cup of coffee sitting on this sofa here, and the sun comes up over there, and the bird song on the morning is fantastic. We've got lots of trees around here. You can hear one in the background now, woo, 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 and it does that all day, every day. What type of bird it is, I don't know. Amazon cargo plane? No, not quite. I don't get any deliveries. Amazon actually pick and choose whether they deliver to Thailand or not. It's usually Lazada, and we have the delivery vans that pick everything up here. Talking of which, I think my wife left some money underneath here. I'll just check. Yeah, it's still there. Because we might get a delivery. My wife's expecting something, so at least if the delivery driver turns up, I know where the money is. I didn't hear a plane. Okay. Oh, 26 in the house already. Wow. And we've still got 10 minutes to go before we officially start at 4 o'clock. So everything's okay. The sound's okay. And it's not clicking or making any noise. I'll be happy if it doesn't make any noise because I took it into the laptop place to get fixed. And he just stood there like a rabbit in the headlights. When I asked him what he did, he said, I fixed it. But he couldn't tell my wife what he did. Or he didn't tell my wife what he did. He just said he fixed it. 2 hours, 200 baht. But last week, answer rain seeding. We're 3 months away from the rainy season. At now, we're getting into the hot season, and I'm feeling hot also now. There's a distinct difference in the air. So I'm back on a mission now, trying to keep my house cool. I've got 1 or 2 other ideas that I'm going to do with regard to getting rid of that excess heat in the house. So up there in the roof, we haven't got any not ridge vents, gable vents. So we're going to put gable vents in there and a gable vent in the side of the house. So hopefully just to cause a bit of draft within the loft. I've also going to put a extractor fan in the kitchen into the roof void. So hopefully it sucks all of the warm air that goes onto the ceiling into the loft. It's all a little bit of an effort to try and get it done. Now in the fire brigade, we used to do what's called positive pressure ventilation, where you make a corridor in when you went to a house fire to try and get rid of the smoke. And so I'm trying that also this year. It's called positive pressure ventilation, and positive pressure ventilation means there's a fan pushing air into it, but I'm not going to do it with a fan. You can sort of do a little similar thing by opening a window and opening a door, and a big opening at the intake, whichever way the wind going, in a small area, so it causes a draft. We're also going to get a door made at the back door, so we can have the back door open all the time, because what we don't want is snakes or creepy crawlies coming in. But if we have this special metal door made, it also acts as a security door as well when we're on holiday, and it's got like a mesh, a metal mesh on it, so we can have the door open, which again causes ventilation. That's about 5,000 baht. So there's a few things we're going to try with regard to getting airflow through the house to get rid of that hot air. Now, I'm not complaining, because I'd sooner be warm than be cold. After all, I can go and have a cold shower to cool me down, and that works very, very well. Up to in the hot season, we're maybe 2 or 3 showers a day, and you can sit in front of a fan. Now, I'd sooner do that, have a cold shower and sit in front of a fan, than put the central heating on all day, because I'm cold back in the UK, which I was back in the UK this time last year, and I was freezing me nuts off. I think that the one in the background is a miner bird. No, they look like miner birds. The brown birds with a black thing. They look like miner birds. We used to have a miner bird when I was a kid, but the miner bird's all black. But I've never seen miner birds here. We've got some like not parakeets. Trying to think of the name. They're not parrots, but the yellow. But all they just make is a screeching sound. And our next door neighbour has half a dozen of them. So you just hear that all day. It's not a pretty noise, but it's a shriek. But we hear them all day. And I think maybe it's because they've got birds that attract birds as well. but always in the distance, I just love the sound of birds. As you can see, we're surrounded by trees, and in that bush there, we've got some little doves that made the nests, and in the front of the house, there's some other birds that made the nest, and up there, every year, there's 2 birds that come and make the nest in the roof void. But we don't get annoyed with the birds that do that, because they're good snake detectors. And if they see any snakes, boy, do they make a noise, and it's an unusual noise, so you know that there's something a little bit untoward, so you can just go on looking and shoo the snakes away. Not that we've seen many snakes here at the end of the day, but they are everywhere in Thailand. As if you just make enough noise that they all go away anyway. So, Super 8 Rescue, good morning. All good afternoon, Les. Sunny Bognor here. Bognor Regis. Did you get any snow? There was big news things saying England is going to be freezing cold. There's going to be lots of snow, and somebody wrote, well, we're still waiting for the snow up in Redcar anyway. There was snow that came, so the cold weather, but February coming into March now, it should be on the turn, I think, shouldn't it? So hopefully a little bit of spring weather will come your way. So Fizz 7778, good morning, Les. It's flipping freezing here. The plain answer is rain seeding. No, as I say, we're 3 months or so away from the rainy season. Skydiving, oh, yeah, you could be close on that one. 5 times 5 for the plane. I think the loud one is the background of the minor bird. How is the smoke down here? Actually, I don't think it's too bad. You know, you can't really see any smog any distance. I know there's a lot of people up in Chiang Mai, up in Isan area, are complaining about the smoke or the smog haze and things like that. But to be fair, I think it's okay here. I don't think it's too bad. I can't see any. There's no like haze or pollution in the sky, or it looks. But then again, my eyes might be bad anyway. But no, I don't feel anything down here. I think we're quite lucky. Also, the rain here doesn't rain as much here as it does in other parts of Thailand. Like half an hour away, it absolutely hammered down with rain. But here, we still have blue skies and it never ever rained. Our side lawn's looking a bit weathered because we haven't watered it, so we may have to water that a little bit more to keep it green. The front lawn's okay, but yeah, water is scarce at this time of year. Clicking noise in the background. Well, I don't know what that is. There is a lot of snow up north. Nothing in Bognor, just endless rain. David back. Hello, Les. How's the new motorbike? The new motorbike is fantastic, and that's what we're going to talk about, is the motorbike a little bit later on. I've got a number of things that we're going to talk about, and we're still 3 minutes away from 4 o'clock when I said we were going to start. So, to be fair to those people who maybe is going to log on at 4 o'clock, I'll start talking about all of them things at 4 o'clock-ish. But the new motorbike's fantastic. I was out on it today. I've done a couple of reviews. Well, I've done a couple of videos on it. Now I've got another video to do, why I bought the Honda Click and why I didn't buy the Honda Lead. That should be sort of an interesting video. But my wife, boy, she got the sharp eye for little imperfections and that. And I mean, I knew that all they're going to do when they went back to the shop was going to polish it out. And you could see there's a little glimpse on one of the videos of the man. He just rolls his eyes and he's just fed up because Ploy was making him take it back to the shop. Because at the end of the day, because he's the delivery driver, he may also get told off for, especially if there was a couple of scratches on the side, or if he had a belt or something going across the motorbike, which he didn't, because he showed Ploy the inside of how the motorbike was strapped, and there was no straps over any paint or plastic pieces whatsoever. So due to the delivery guy, it wasn't his fault. I believe it was like that when it came out the shop, and he was even more angry when he came back and delivered it, and the same scratch was on the front of the motorbike that we sent it back for. Mother's father was a coal miner in the South Tyneside back in the day. Coal mining was a very, 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 very hard profession. Hi, Les, how much was the insurance for the click? To be honest, I don't really know. I think the whole price came to about 73,000. The base price of the motorbike was 69,900, and it came to 75,000 baht for everything. But I'm going to go through that because we didn't pay cash for it. We got it on finance. And the reason why we got it on finance is to show and prove to other people that even though your girlfriend or your wife isn't working, you can still obtain finance on a motorbike. But they say that's after 4 o'clock. We're on 4 o'clock now, so we've got 39 people in and 12 thumbs up. Thanks very much for the thumbs up already. All much appreciated. It goes towards the algorithm to show YouTube that people are interested in this content. Yeah, come to Scotland, you'll see real rain. Okay, right, so we're on 4 o'clock, so welcome everybody. Oh, we're up to 41 now and 19 thumbs up. Thanks very much. So, okay, we're 4 o'clock now. I always start a little bit early. I just want to make sure that my microphone's working and everything's set up. Again, for those people who want to ask a question, put a big Q or a capital Q at the beginning of your comment, and then I can see it's a question, because some people talk with each other along the chat type of thing. So if you've got a question, I'll try my best to answer it. But if I miss, because I'm answering somebody else's question, because I'm looking at the camera, sometimes I don't see the scrolling of the messages, then just, I apologize if I've missed your question. Just put a question again and I'll get to it eventually. So I apologize if I miss any questions in advance, but anybody's got any questions, anything at all, ask, no matter how silly it may seem. I'm here to answer whatever questions you've got. Thanks for all the advice. You have a lot of wisdom, and I can't wait until I'm back to John Gem and arrange with you for a coffee. I'm always up for a coffee. Always like my coffees, and I meet people sort of on a weekly basis now. I've lived here for 12 years, so I do know a little bit about living here. Do I know all the answers? Of course I don't. You still learn new things living here in Thailand. And I've learned a few things in the past couple of weeks or so, and I'm going to tell you about all of them, lad. So let's start. Where should we start? Let me think. Okay, I'll start with one of the last videos that I did. Is Thailand for you? Now, this was sort of an answer to a video that I watched with Pete from Irish Times. He was talking to a young man who was sort of, I just got the impression he was a very angry young man, because living in Thailand, the opportunities weren't there, and he didn't feel that he was living in the right place in Thailand. I think he's been here for 17 years or something like that. And maybe his family brought him up here. I didn't watch all the video, to be fair. But in answer to that, Thailand isn't a young person's place at all. And I'm going to explain this, the reasons why it isn't for a young person. One, because the opportunities aren't here. If you're not Thai, you ain't going to get gainful employment here. There is some jobs that you can apply for, like hotel management and things like that. But when all's said and done, the pay is rubbish here. If you want to earn a lot of money or a decent salary, Thailand isn't the place to do it. And I'll use my example as again. In England, I was an electrician part-time because I had my own electrical business. And I used to make 120 to 150 pounds a day. Now here, I still keep my hands in with doing the electrics. And I've helped a couple of people out in the past. And I've helped a guy out in the past couple of weeks because if I didn't help him out, boy, was he in trouble. But again, I charged him a little bit of money for doing that, because it's, when all said and done, my time, and I charged him 1,500 baht to help him out, to sort things out for him. So, and that's a lot of money. The average Thai electrician is on maybe is 1,000 to 1,500 baht a day. So you can be the best qualified person in your country, but trying to get the money over here is just virtually impossible. I had a bricklayer wanted to come to Thailand, build houses, and a bricklayer in England makes a lot of money. He ain't going to make a lot of money over here. The guy's house that I went around and helped him with his electrics, he had a plasterer, absolutely fantastic guy. He was sort of a jack of all trades, but he was very, very good at what he did. And he charged 600 baht a day, and he thought he was ripping the foreigner off because he was charging 600 baht a day. If he was working in England, he'd be on £1,000 a week at least. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. For a young person to live over here in Thailand, it's virtually impossible. You just, you've got all of these, they're selling the dream with regard to, working on your laptop computer, sitting on the beach or whatever. Yeah, I think I can count on one hand. And if I take 4 fingers away and I've only got one left, and even then, that's not working properly. So I don't know anybody who's actually making money doing what the adverts say, that come and work online and make a lot of money whilst living in Thailand. Even the teaching, TEFL, teaching English as a foreign language over here in Thailand isn't accepted. You have to have a degree to get a teacher's job over here. Now, a teacher's job, just to start with, is only on 30,000 baht a month. That's basically what the Thai people are on, 30,000 baht a month. So you're going to struggle on that type of money. So for young people, get a good job where you are, save like Billy-O. So when you get to 60, because you ain't going to be able to retire before you get to 60, then you can retire over in Thailand, then you can live the good lifestyle. But sadly, young people will have to work until they're 65 to 70-year-old. The 20-year-old now is going to be working until the 70-year-old, that's for sure. So anyway, so that was my little take on Pete from Irish Times with regard to interviewing the young lad. He did seem to be a little bit negative about Thailand, what the Thai YouTubers don't tell you. I like to think that my YouTube channel, I'm honest and unbiased, and I give an unbiased opinion about living here in Thailand. I sing Thailand's praises, yes I do, because I live here and I've lived here for 12 years. And I'm still in the honeymoon period after 12 years. This is how much I like it in Thailand. You've got to obey their laws. You've got to take it on the chin. It's not a perfect place, but it's a lot better than a lot of other places where people are living nowadays. So that's my little rant over with regard to that video. And, have a look at it. Pete does some good interviews at various people, but yeah, I've got to say with that one, the young man seemed a little bit negative, sadly. But it's not a young man's place. 50-year-old and retired upwards, it's an easy place to live. It's fantastic. But it's not free. You still need some money to live here. Retirement not gone up to 71. It's just been recommended. Yeah, it will be. The next step to recommendations is doing it, because as a nation, the UK, people are getting too old. But you see what happened with France when they're on about upping the retirement age? There was riots on the streets. England, we just go, okay. France, they don't want to work. Hi, Les. Don't you have to have a work permit to do any work in Thailand? So please be careful what you say. And yeah, I'm helping somebody out. I don't work I don't work over here. I'm on a marriage visa and I don't need to work. I help people out. And I had to help him out, because if I didn't help him out, nobody was going to help him out. But I understand what you're saying, and you do need a work permit to do anything. Even to do voluntary work over here, you need a work permit. So, yeah, I have no idea how they can support themselves. And what about a retirement fund? Yeah, exactly. A retirement fund. Everybody needs to save up for retirement. I was lucky in the job that I joined as the firefighter. They took money off me every month and put it into a private pension. But at 19-year-old, you know, when they told me I could retire at 50, 50-year-old was a long, long way away. So I never even thought about putting money into a retirement fund. And let's face it, now everybody wants the money. Now they don't want it when they retire, and they'll cross that bridge when they get to it. But sadly, if you haven't put into a private pension, living on the basic state pension isn't going to go very far in certainly the UK. And I would imagine it'd be the same in Australia or America. You're going to struggle on that amount of money. Good morning, Bill. I love the new motorbike. Yeah, so do I. As I say, if you watched the last video, there was a couple of little faults with it, but when all said and done, it's okay. Good morning, Les. I'm watching you from Jumpian Beach. I'm living through the dream too. Good. Jumpian Beach is nice. I like Jumpian. I lived in Jumpian for 2 years. Les, there was a radio show yesterday in London to talk show LBC about increasing pension to the age of 71. The French wouldn't allow. I know the French, as I say, to give the French the due, they don't want to work. Nobody wants to work until our age. I mean, I'm 63 now. I've got rheumatoid arthritis, and it tells me, you know, every week if I do too much, it hurts. I aches and pains every morning when I get up. I cannot do the stuff I used to do as a 50-year-old. So imagine having to ask me to do something at 70-year-old that a 50-year-old. It just does not make sense at all. You've given all the best years of your life to those people, you know, who screwed you down to the ground, your employers, and when it comes to living your golden years, you ain't got nothing. They don't want to give you anything for retirement for all of them years that you put into the system. He made a bad choice financially to move to Thailand at such a young age. He chose short-term gratification instead of working and securing his long-term lifestyle in a sustainable way. If that's the guy that you're on about that was talking to Pete, yeah, I mean, 17-year-old, I've seen many young people come to Thailand and sort of get the false impression. It's a wonderful place. It really, really is. It's sort of what dreams are made of. Tropical beaches, beautiful women, such a free and easy lifestyle. What person wouldn't want this? And as a young person, they want it now. It's like everything else. They want it now. They don't want to wait until they're old. They want it now. But then they don't realize that comes at a cost also, because, okay, you might be able to, you know, scrounge a little bit of money, but is it financially sustainable? You're always going to be in trouble with that. So yeah, you've got to do the hard graft, save some money, and then live retirement, because you've got the funds to be able to retire with not having to worry about work. From the Sunshine Coast, Australia, good afternoon. I don't have the heart to tell my kids they will get no state pension, never mind 71, bankrupt Britain. Yeah. What can I say? What can I say? It's just, I can't see a way back. I can't see a solution. You know, let's face it, when is the last time something positive, something good happened in the last 10 years? Can anybody name just one thing that's been good and everybody's happy about? Anywhere, America, Australia, Europe, or England. Just name one really, really good thing that everybody's happy about. But I'm going to tell you one thing that I'm happy about. My new motorbike. My new motorbike that I've just got. Now, the other one that we have, the Honda Click 125, and I bought that 9 years ago, and it was a fantastic motorbike. And I just love it. It only had 13,500 kilometers on it when I sold it. And the guy that bought it was from England, and he actually sent me the deposit, and he said, I'll pick it up when he flies back to Jomtien. And he came up to Rayong to see it, and I said to him, I said, I'm not confident that the bike is in perfect condition and you can't find any fault with it. I said, if you do find fault with it, I said, I'll give you your deposit back, and I'll also give you your bus fare back to Jomtien. Anyway, he rode the motorbike back to Jomtien, and I'm going to do another video on that with regard to buying and selling a motorbike here in Thailand, because it's not a simple matter. It really, really isn't. Now, as I said, to try and save him going through the hassle of all the paperwork, I suggested getting an agent up here in Rayong where we live, and the agent was going to charge 1,500 baht for doing all the paperwork. And he was happy with that, 750 baht each. He said, yeah, okay, fine. So we went down to the agent, and the agent says, because, and I bought it in Jomtien, at Mition on Thepsit Road. So the bike was registered in Chonburi. So because the bike was registered in Chonburi, I had to go to Chonburi to the land office in Pattaya type of thing to be able to do the sale. Now, the visa agent said, yeah, I'll do that for you, Les, no problem, but it's going to cost you 3,000 baht now. And I said, whoa, I ain't going to pay 3,000 baht for somebody to do the paperwork. So I said to the guy who bought the motorbike, I said, we'll meet you in Pattaya or Jomtien tomorrow, the day after he bought it. And then so we'll go and do all the paperwork. So we went to the office, and he had to take the motorbike to the land office because they had to check all the details, all the numbers, blah, 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 blah. It's a big, big paperwork exercise to be able to buy and sell motorbikes over here. So it took us 2 hours altogether to do all the paperwork, and the total cost, the agent was going to charge me 3,000 baht, 205 baht. And we had a night out in Pattaya as well, because we stayed the night. So I'd sooner have had a night out in Pattaya and to do the paperwork, and otherwise we'd have had to leave the passport with the agent for 3 or 4 days. Showed the passport, we had the passport back within 2 hours, everything had been done. He's a happy man, happy with the motorbike, and I'm happy because we bought the new motorbike. And as everybody that I've said before, that I was going to buy the Honda Lead. Now, I love the Honda Lead. It's a lovely motorbike, but when I seen the Honda Click, and I'm a big guy, and when I sat on the Click and I sat on the Honda Lead, the Honda Click won 100% because it was actually a bigger motorbike, and when all said and done, I think it looks a better motorbike as well. And why did we buy the ABS? Because the day before, I was going to my friend's house, and I seen this cat run across the road, and the truck in front of us braked, and I'm thinking that's one life gone for the cat. And it carried on running across the road, and the motorbike braked to miss the cat, but he skidded and hit the cat and killed the cat, and he fell off the motorbike as well. And because he pulled the brakes on, he locked the front and the back wheel, and he skidded and he hit the cat, which knocked him off. So I think, okay, the ABS, it was 7,500 baht more, but at least at the end of the day, it shouldn't lock the wheels if you've had to brake in a hurry. Now, we don't drive very fast anyway. We always drive pretty slow. So for me, I just thought it was worth the little bit of extra. The 160 with a normal drum brakes and ABS, that was about 6,000 baht cheaper, or 7,500 cheaper. 63,900 compared to 69,900. But I just liked it for the safety, and so that's the reason why we bought it. I'm over the moon with it. Now when the guy buffed them little scratches out, I've been out and about, and me and the wife have been on it. It drives okay. I know people complain about this only got one spring, but I'm happy with the one spring. The 125 only had one spring, and we drove for 9 years with that, me and the wife. When we used to do motorbike driving around, we used to do motorbike trips every week. So So yeah, I mean, I've done the video with regard to what faults I found with it. I'm not too happy with the display. It's not bright, but when it's dark, it all glows orange, and it's super bright and it's lovely. So there must be a little sensor somewhere. I've looked in all the book. I couldn't find out to put the display light on all the time if it can be done. But we shall ask at the garage when it goes in for its 1,000-kilometer service. But we do 40 to 50 kilometers an hour. It's a little tootle about vehicle, so we don't have to use the car to go to 7-Eleven where we are. It's like a 5-minute drive to 7-Eleven on the motorbike. We're going to a show tonight in Banpei, and it's quite big, like Chinese. It's sort of the last day of the Chinese New Year. So we're going to take the motorbike because it's easier to park than trying to park the car because it's very, very busy with the traffic. So yeah, we use a little motorbike, little scooter. It's a brilliant piece of equipment, and it's not too expensive, is it? About 73,000 or so altogether, with regard to with all the paperwork on it as well. Unless I put all my money into crypto, I have no idea about crypto. Yeah, I have no idea about the crypto and things like that. But the Honda ADV 350, my friend looked at the ADV 350 and he reckoned it was too heavy. He's got the ADV 150, and he's a big motorbike guy. He's had lots of motorbikes in the UK, and he much prefers the 150 to the 350. Vote Labour. I think Labour is just as bad as everybody else. Iles, quick question. What happened to the American lady retiring to Thailand? The last vid I saw was on the ship. Blonde hair, glasses, and she's still vlogging. Can't remember her YouTube channel. Yeah, she stopped the YouTube because she got quite a few trolls. Sadly, she got a few trolls, but I like it was Kelly. Kelly was her name, and the channel, she just took everything down, and she said, I can do without the trolls and things like that. So now she's living in well, the last, she actually moved to Jomtien, but whether she's moved on elsewhere, I don't know. She sort of stayed out of touch from me. I think she just wants to get on with her life and just move forward. And, you know, so that's the last I know. But it's sad, really, because what she wanted is some little old ladies to come and join her. And I think she had the makings of a successful channel, because when she first met me, she had 121 subscribers. And when she went back to America, to San Francisco, to grab all the stuff, she had 1,000. So it just showed how quickly, in 3 or 4 weeks, she had from 121 to 1,000 subscribers. Excuse me. I think she could have led the way for many old ladies or single ladies to come and have a better life here in Thailand than live in their home countries. So to be truthful, I don't know what's happened to her. I've sent her some good wish messages and she hasn't replied. So she's obviously okay with herself, and she's just keeping herself to herself. I'm 60 this year, and me and my wife have had enough of the UK, and will hopefully be selling up and moving to Thailand January the 25th. Very, very good. Okay, hang on, something's just popped up. Let me just click that off. Okay, little advertisement from my protection. I think everybody's fed up with the UK. I mean, like I said, there's not one person to put anything on the comments when I ask the question, just name one thing, one good thing that's happened in the world in the last 10 years, and nobody's put an answer to it. So that suggests that nothing, I can't think of anything that's good that's happened in the last 10 years in England, America, Australia, or Europe. Can you? No. So I understand getting sick of the UK. I'm always eternally grateful to the UK. In our era, when we're growing up, I think England was a fantastic place. but somehow it's lost its way. It's lost its mojo, and it's lost its values as to what it used to be. And I don't know how they're going to get it back, because it just looks as if it's all is lost. How can you turn back the clocks and do the other things? Because you've got the do-gooders, you know, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do the woke society, you can't do this, you can't do. We're full of you can't do this, that, and the others because of offending somebody. Right, Labour going to the end 0 hour contracts of low paid slavery work Tory. Yeah, it's yeah. I think all the governments are as bad as each other. Once they're in power, the snouts are in the trough. Snouts are in the trough, whether it's Labour or whether it's the Tories. They all look after themselves first before looking after anybody else. Dear Bromson, question. Hi Les, watching for many years. Question. Are you allowed in Thailand to brew your own home beer? I like that beer, but they're nice to have the real pint of real bitter from time to time. Actually, no, you're not allowed. Funny enough, you're not allowed to supposedly you're not allowed to brew your own beer. But I do believe that in Bangkok there's a few brew shops that where you can go and get the hops and the barleys and the stuff like that. So there are ways and means of doing it, but I prefer the dark beers to the normal beers here. I like the Tetleys and John Smiths when I was back in England. But the rest of it it's just more like lagers, but you just get used to it. I mean, I'm not a big drinker anyway. Greetings from the James Cook Hospital in the Borough, Les. Oh, James Cook Hospital. Wow, that's a very, very busy hospital there. Hi, Les. Keep up the good work. It is still 30-day visa plus 30-day extension on arrival for UK citizens. Cheers, Leslie. Yeah, I mean, there was such a big hope that was going to change before Christmas. There's talk of everybody that, oh, yeah, we're going to get 90 days, just like the Ruskies do. But the Russians still get 90 days. But I don't know whether they get a 90 days extension. But the laws are bent for sure, as far as the Russians are concerned. I don't think there's any limit for them to do the border runs and things like that. It's still all a bit grey with regard to the Russians, what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. There's nobody with a definitive answer, because I've asked. It's all a grey area with regard to the Russians and everybody else. You know, the Chinese are coming here and then big numbers again. But let's see what happens. You know, we're coming to the sort of end of high season now. So they should have jumped on that bandwagon at Christmas time, December time, giving everybody 90 days. Girlfriend in party is studying year 18, final high school. Yeah, good at pool, poker, and drawing. From dysfunctional Eastham family, my place family, dad and two brothers, was dysfunctional also. Oh, well. Hi, Les. Sat in a wet Stockton-on-Tees, currently looking at flights to Thailand. We'll be over there permanently soon. Well, hurry here. As UK only give 1 year international license, do you need to take a Thai test for long term? Yes, you do. Was a paratrooper then police for 8 year major sergeant, strict childhood. Yeah. Our era, I think, of people had moral scruples and principles, and I think the new generation of people have all lost that. Sat in bed with a cup of tea in the Isle of Man. Keep it up. Well, my coffee's gone now, so I'm on my water, because I do lose my voice if I've been talking to. 44 minutes. We're still a long way off 3 hours, but the voices I can feel it's going already. Starting teaching, yeah, very proud of her. Good. The university in Bangkok, fantastic. Yeah, considered doing it in the UK, but I couldn't afford it. Now, I used to work as a property maintenance manager in Southampton, looking after 45 student accommodation in Southampton, and I was busy every single day, going around people's houses, fixing things, repairing things, or making sure everything was okay. And I always used to ask them, have they got a job to go to? And majority of people say, no, I'm having a gap year. I'm having a year off before I go into work because I've spent all of these years studying, type of thing. Nobody wants to pay their university fees back. So I think it's 27,000. If you've got a job over £27,000 a year, you have to start paying your university fees back. So people were looking, with all of these highly educated people, looking for jobs for under 27,000, so they didn't have to pay the university fees back. And that actually increases your tax burden until you're 52. You pay 9% of whatever wages you have over the 27,000. So majority of people will never, ever, ever pay their university fees off. So I think also there are plenty of job opportunities where you don't have to spend 40, 50 or 60,000 pounds getting educated, and you can earn a lot more money than that. And so I would say get a trade, a plumber, a joiner, a bricklayer, a plasterer, something like that. You will never, ever, ever, ever be out of work. How many people in the solicitors or the lawyers or something like that are going to be sacked because of AI? AI knows everything. In the next 10 years, you won't have to ask a solicitor or a barrister or anything. You just press a button and it'll give you the answer like that. How many of them jobs are going to go? Anyway, that's my little thing. I was never clever enough to go to university, and I've always made the money with my hands. I've learned a lot of things, a lot of skills. I've never, ever, ever, ever been out of work, and I've always made money doing something. And that wasn't nothing to do with university. So congratulations on your daughter passing the university in Bangkok. Well done. Met girlfriend in Pattaya for the first time in March 2018. Fantastic. And I hope it's still going strong from 2018. Well done. And again, a lot of people knock the bar girls, but I don't knock the bar girls at all, because there are some very beautiful, intelligent, witty, conversational, clever girls, even if they're working in the bar. Not all of them are bad girls. As I said, many people say, oh, I want to meet them on the internet. Who knows? They're a bar girl, but you meet them on the internet and tell them, I've just come down to Pattaya, I'm going to work with friends, I've come to see somebody. You never know. Honesty, reliability, and your gut feeling is the biggest thing to talk about here living in Thailand. Go with your gut feeling. Return living the dream. Next Saturday, when I move Australia to Chiang Mai to live, excited. Fantastic. Oh, that'll soon be here. Chiang Mai, lovely place. I like Chiang Mai. Not so much in the smoky season, but out of smoky season is very, very good. Hi, Les. Have you any regrets at all about living in Thailand, and what would you change if you could? Absolutely no regrets whatsoever. It's one of the best moves I've ever done in my life, moving over to here. I don't miss anything. I embrace. Is it a perfect place? No, it isn't. It is what it is. And I stay away from the negative people. In England, we would do this. And in America, we do that. And in Australia, we do it this way. Well, just forget about all of them ways. You live in Thailand now. Thailand has its ways. It's not always the best ways. I mean, like, so many people get cheesed off with doing the 90-day reporting. Now, so many people have asked me to do a video on the 90-day report, and I'm going to do one next week or so, because my 90 days is due. So the best way to do the video for 90 days is actually go through it step by step on me doing it myself. The 90 days on the internet is so easy. It's not difficult at all. It's done in 5-10 minutes, and you get an answer back within 1 or 2 days, something like that. Now, that's far better than traveling 45 minutes to the immigration office, standing in the queue for 5 minutes and coming back out. Getting your retirement visa here in Thailand is so easy. In fact, it's probably much easier to get your retirement visa here than anywhere else in the world. It's not difficult. But so many people like, oh, there's this, there's that. Well, if you don't like it, nobody's forcing you to stay here. You know, it will never, ever be America, Australia, Europe, or England, because it's always going to be Thailand. Embrace the good bits and bad bits. I mean, let's face it, if you get caught driving a motorbike or a car without any insurance in England, you can't be repossessed. It'd be taken off the road. It'd be put into a compound, and then you're in a whole heap of bother. Over here, you get fined 1,000 baht, told to go and get insurance, and put back into your car and sent on your merry little way. Now, isn't that a good part of it? Isn't that responsible? Isn't that being like, okay, we understand that you may have missed or forgotten about your insurance. There's a little reminder, pay 1,000 baht fine, which is about 20 quid or something like that, and on your way. And you've got your little note for 7 days, and it's just a reminder to say, how much would you pay with penalty points, your car repossessed, your car taken, put into a compound? It's just... So there's good things and bad things about Thailand. I would say there's more good things than there is bad things. So I don't miss a single thing about living in England at all. I embrace Thailand. I embrace the culture, the happy people here. How can you be tired of happy people? People with smiling on the face, people who are happy to be here. The crime is next to zero compared to what it was like in the UK. So, in answer to your question, I don't miss anything about England, but I love everything about Thailand. University Thailand, 2.5K a year. University UK, 9.5K. Yeah, that's a big, big difference. University in Germany and Finland are free. Good for you. Drinking Heineken. I'm not really I'm a Chang man. I like the Chang. Les sounds like he's got his head screwed on. Well, it's a sensible head. The pros and cons with Chiang Mai. Now, again, because I've not lived in Chiang Mai, I've been on holidays there. I would say that the pros of Chiang Mai is cheaper than most Thailand. It's quite cheap to live in Chiang Mai. The cons are the smoky season, because the air gets very polluted. Con to all the people actually live there. So there's quite a few people who actually leave for 2 or 3 months of the year and come further down south, I think. But the air pollution also comes down south as well. But today, people have asked me today about the air conditioning here, or not the air conditioning, the quality of the air, and I'm okay with it. It's I can see a good distance, and there's no smog in the air. I think it's pretty good. But that's the pros and cons, just in a nutshell. It's cheap to live in Chiang Mai, accommodation's cheap, getting around is cheap, but the burning season, the air quality is not good. Farang Travels, good morning, Les, and everyone, good morning. Good morning, afternoon, Les. Sorry I'm late to the party again, but I had to have my beans on toast. I had bacon sandwiches this morning. Bacon sandwiches, beautiful. My plans to move to Udantani are still on track. Good for you. Just waiting for the paperwork to be sorted. Hopefully it won't be too long, mate. Good luck with your future plans. I feel guilty about the British Empire. We probably brought a lot of all of these problems by owning or having such a large British Empire. Morning, Les, from Zurich. Catch up end of March. Okay, end of March, that'd be good. We go away early on in March. We're going back to Koh Kud, to our favourite little resort. Fantastic place, Koh Kud. There's a bunch of us going. We've booked 5 apartments or 5 houses. 5 houses, 5 apartments. Anyway, 5 rooms in this resort that we're going to. It's beautiful. How do you open a bank account if you're not living there in Thailand? It's very difficult. I just wait until you get to Thailand, then open up a bank account and use an agent to open up a bank account, because at the end of the day, an agent is much easier. Again, the Russians have caused a lot of these problems for money laundering and things like that. So they don't like opening a bank account to people who have just a tourist visa. But an agent, even if you just do have a tourist visa, an agent can open up a bank account for you. It might cost you 4,500 to 5,000 baht, but it's certainly worth all of the hassle. A couple of guys that I know said, I'm not going to use an agent. I'm not going to use an agent. I'll do it myself. And he ended up using an agent. So for me, just forget about it. Just go and use an agent. It'll be all over and done within a day. And when all said and done, 4,500 to 5,000 baht to open a bank account isn't a big thing if you plan to stay here for many, many years. So yeah, you can't really open a bank account outside of because you need to show your bank book, you need to show your passport and where you're living, and there's many, many things. So use an agent. Paul, I'm there. We are moving to, and I can't wait. It's an exciting time moving over to Thailand. It's a big, big step moving over to Thailand also. Are there any cults in Thailand? I saw the rock band, The Cult, at Whitby Bay Ice Ring in the late 80s with an estranged high school friend. There are some good bands in Thailand. Carabao is one of them, and Carabao was like Thailand's equivalent of the Rolling Stones. And even here in little old Band Pair, we've had some of Thailand's top bands play for free, and we sit and watch it, and we drink beers, and the entertainment's fantastic. Bangkok last weekend, Coldplay played at a stadium, 60,000 sellout at Coldplay. So Thailand does attract some of the world's top bands here, and to say Bangkok is good for seeing some of them. We've seen Mariah Carey, Coldplay. One of the guys that did the vlog, he paid 6,800 baht each for a ticket to go on seated ticket, and he was sort of halfway up the concourse to watch Coldplay, and they were like miniature, look, it's so far away they were miniature, and that was 6,800. So goodness knows how much you paid for a ticket to be very, very close. Do you remember us talking about the Thai baht? Is it still creeping? Yeah, we're above 45 now, but it did come back down below 44 for a little spell. Hopefully it'll carry on. Somebody said it was overvalued, and it's going to drop by 20%. Let's hope it does, because it's still very good value for the Americans. The Americans are getting a fantastic exchange rate. It's just gone Bon Jovi songs. Yeah, I seen Bon Jovi in Australia. He was fantastic. I love that. The YouTube guy, Lee Pub Channel, says if you go with your passport to a bank with proof of address, they let you withdraw money free. Okay. Again, there's so many stories with good, and there's a bad, and each bank can have their own little funny little ways. But just go and get a bank account opened. That's the easiest way to do it. What if you have a Thai person's name on it as well as the bank account? Is it easier? No, because if you want your retirement visa, then you need to have your bank account in your own name. You're not allowed to have another person's name on that account. It has to be solely and utterly in your name for a retirement visa or a marriage visa. So no, if your wife or your girlfriend has a bank account, there might be a little bit of persuasion where you can do it, but in the end, go and get your own bank account. Good afternoon, Les. Are you based in Hua Hin, live in Thailand? No, I'm in Rayong. But I've been to Hua Hin a couple of times because I did a couple of videos with regard to assisted living, and Sunshine International was the place that I did the videos. They were fantastic, and they've just opened up another place now, and I think it's nearly almost. I think they've got about 3 or 4 apartments left. Sunshine International, for those people who want assisted living or retirement hotel, fantastic guy. There should be more retirement homes like that in Thailand, and I'm sure there will be a big increase on retirement homes and nursing home in Thailand because it's so much cheaper. I've done a couple of videos. Have a look at my videos. You'll see what quality of care you get over here for a fraction of the cost that you'd have to pay back in the UK, America, or Australia. Yeah, I've seen quite a few top bands and comedians. I like watching comedians as well back in the UK. But we've only actually seen one big band here. It was that Mariah Carey. She was a diva, and it was a waste of money. 70 quid to go and watch Mariah Carey. She sang 6 songs. She was there for 2 hours, sang 6 songs, and she had a support band playing songs in between their dress changes. So she sang 6 songs, 2 hours. We were 2 seats away from right at the back, and Mariah Carey was that small. Just prima donna, not worth the money. Hi again. If you ever did decide to move to somewhere else in Thailand, where would you move to? Okay, if I was to move somewhere, my next favorite place that I like is Pai up near Chiang Mai. It's about 2.5 hours away from Chiang Mai. It is stunningly beautiful. It's nowhere near the sea, but it's in the mountains. It has more seasons because it does get chilly there in the winter, but it's just lovely. It's a beautiful place. In fact, we're going back there this Christmas. The wife says we can go back up to that area now. We're going to anyway, I forget what they called it now, but anyway, we're going to Pai. Then there's some Rakan Thai or something like that. It's the furthest northern point of Thailand. It's about 1 kilometer away from the border of Myanmar, I believe. But it's like a Chinese village, but it takes 19 hours to drive up to there. So we're going to take our time, 2 or 3 days to drive up to there. So then we're in Pai for Christmas, and then we're in Chiang Mai for New Year. So I'm really looking forward to that. Because Pai is probably my favorite place to live in Thailand. It's just stupidly beautiful. It really is. So have a look. If you've not been to Pai, go to Pai. Fantastic. Hi again. Right, Father hated my music. He was into Dolly Parton, Frank Sinatra, and Don Williams. I like Frank Sinatra. Dolly Parton, there's more to Dolly than meets the eye. We will move back to Thailand. I will be visiting some tea plantations as I love my tea. Have you been anywhere like that? Yeah, up to Chiang Rai. In fact, that's where I proposed to my wife, in the tea gardens at Chiang Rai, and stunningly beautiful. But this Ban Rak Thai, the furthest northern point of Thailand, we're going to stay in some houses that are actually on the slopes of the tea farms, Ban Rak Thai, and we're looking forward to that. That'll be very interesting. But yeah, there's some nice tea farms around Chiang Rai also. Beautiful. Yeah, the YouTube Pai video looks great. Looked like a happy town. It is. Sort of hippie happy town. I seen Engelbert und Badink at Koh Samui last year. Fantastic old timer tunes. Yeah. Hyla's question: do you think the pound will ever get back to how it used to be? And if you no, I don't think it'll ever get back to the dizzy heights of 50 to 60 baht. No, I think 45 to 46. I think that's what we can hope for. The pound plummeted like a lead balloon when we did Brexit. So yeah, I think what it is, it took now all of these years to get back to the system, or to the amount of money that we had spared every month before Brexit. So when Brexit came, with the exchange rate value, I was £360 a month worse off the day after Brexit, and it went down to as low as 37 baht. And I was worried then because things were very, very expensive. At 44, 45 it's happy days again now. We're getting back up to that amount of money. So hopefully 45 and above will be better off at that. So no, it'll never, I don't think it'll ever get back to the 50 baht. Les, do you registered with a doctor or just go with your insurance? No, I'm not registered with a doctor. It's sort of a different thing over here. There's clinics over here. You just go and see a doctor, and it's only 500 or 600 baht to go and see a doctor, like a 10 or 12 pounds. You can go to the hospital, because my wife wasn't feeling very well one night a few months or so ago now. We went to the hospital at 11 o'clock in the evening. Within an hour and a half, we'd seen the doctor, got the medication, and on our way home. And the total cost in the public hospital was 550 baht. So 11 or 12 pounds. So no, there's no need to register with the doctors. You can go to the hospital, you go to the clinics, go and see the doctors. It's very, very cheap here. In fact, I think that's what they should charge people. They should charge £10 to go and see a doctor in the UK. That would get rid of a lot of the time wasters, because you will only go and see a doctor then if you really need to go and see one, if you have to pay £10. But if you go for free, how many people just ring, oh, I'm not going to go to the doctor, and just cancel it. So that's why there's a big waiting list for doctors, because people cancel at the drop of a hat and just, I'm okay, I'm not going to go and see the doctor now. Saw black hi Frank, travel hi Roy. First saw the black. Okay, people are talking amongst themselves. Okay, where are we at now? Okay, next on the subject. Okay, I've got sort of a list of things I was going to talk about. Now, this one is the very, very important one, and it's ridiculous how a friend of mine's got a brand new house being built, and his friend says, I'll supervise it and I'll take care of it and I'll do everything. And what a cock up he's made. He did the electrics of this house, and as a qualified electrician in the UK, my friend asked me to go and have a look at the electrics, and I did, and I said, basically just wants ripping out and doing again. It's absolutely disgusting, horrible, dangerous, and how somebody has such little regard to the electrical safety in a friend's house that he makes the wiring situation dangerous. It is a brand new house when all said and done. Everything should be absolutely top notch, but the wiring is stupidly dangerous. So that's why I was helping my friend out and fixing it. And I'll tell the guy to his face that he shouldn't be allowed to touch electrics ever again. He's created a dangerous situation. A stupid man for telling people that he knows what he's doing and he knows nothing. That's how stupid this man was by doing these electrics. And I've sorted it out as best I can, but is it perfect? No, it isn't perfect. And he's going to have to live with a situation where the electrics in his house is not as it should be. So if you're going to get people to do electrics or plumbing or things like, make sure they know what they're doing. Go with your gut instinct. Go and ask for recommendations of other people. You're going to pay more money by getting recommendations, but I'd sooner pay a little bit more money and get recommendations than have some idiot sort your electrics out that are so dangerous. It's stupid. Anyway, that's my little rant on with the electrics. And that's why I helped my friend out with his electrics, because it was so stupidly dangerous. Pay the money. Everything in Thailand is cheap anyway, so you're going to get a quality house built for not a lot of money. Pay the extra money, get the quality work done. Don't try to get anything built so cheap that it's nothing. If you pay peanuts, you're going to get monkeys. And at the end of the day, the quality of the work that's going to be done by these people is crazy. Do not get family members to build your house. Because again, the Thai girls want to pass the money on to the family and friends. So I think, Bob knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, and he's a builder. But in reality, the first time you see them, you think, they're not a builder. Quality work comes at a cost, but it's still a cheap cost in Thailand. So please do not, if you're getting a brand new house built, skimp on costs of getting a proper builder or a proper company in, because you're going to get it built far, far cheaper than you would do in the Western world anyway. Just do your research. I'm no expert, but I think the baht will reach 47 to the pound at some point this year. The Thai government are a little worried about the tourist numbers not reaching the numbers there. Yeah, but tourism, by dropping the baht, isn't going to increase, because the British pound isn't a good currency to have in the first place, because there's the ups and downs of the exchange rate. If somebody says something bad in England, like the Bank of England, they're not going to cut the interest rates, or they're going to put the interest rates up. Wow, does the baht go, or the pound go down? And there's a lot of bad things going on in England at the minute, so there's no good feeling about investing in the UK pound. So that's why it's up and down like a lead balloon. For some reason, everybody wants the US dollar. Wow, the Americans are in so much debt. I think that bubble is going to burst one day. But you just take it as it is, and I'll go with 45, and I'll be happy with 45. Because it's a long way better than 37 like it was a few years or so ago. I will be getting a building company to build our bungalow in Udantani. No family bobber job joke anywhere near my place, and that's good. Now, as I say, what usually happens is your girlfriend or your wife wants to show face and give money to the family and friends side of thing, and they say they can do it. But in reality, that's the worst thing you can do. I would argue, black as white, to say, listen, if you get an outside company, it's not going to, you can tell it whichever way you want in reality, but it'll save face in the long run. Because if you're going to complain to the wife or the girlfriend that the builder's not doing anything, that shows bad face for her. So just say to her, listen, I'm going to get a company, so if I've got any arguments, I can argue until I'm blue in the face, because it's not family. Because the Thais don't want to argue with anybody, and family, it makes it even worse. So good for you to get a building company to do it. That's the much safest way to do it. Seeing a doctor for those prices is fantastic, but do you pay for any type of health insurance for anything serious? Yes, I've got medical insurance for about 25,000 baht a year, and that's for 700,000 bahts worth of cover, and that's with Pacific Cross. And I've used Pacific Cross now for 10 years whilst I've been in Thailand. So thankfully, touch wood, I've never had to use my medical insurance for anything. I'm quite a healthy guy, really. I just did a video not so long ago. I had a couple of lumps on my head and on my arm. So my mother had skin cancer, so I went and got the skin cancer doctor, and this was at the Bangkok Rayong Hospital. And the total cost, it's got it all in the video, the procedures, what they did, type of thing. They did a skin biopsy, they sent it away for test. The whole test, the procedure lasted for 2 hours altogether, from seeing the doctor to filling out all the paperwork, blah, blah, blah. And then he did the biopsy, and then a week later I got the results, and the total cost 8,000 baht, about £180, 170, £180, brand new within a week. Now, if I had to do the same thing in the UK, I would go and see a doctor. The doctor would send me to a specialist. The specialist would make another appointment for me to go and get the biopsy. Then I'd have to wait a week or 2 weeks to get the results. So in total, that might have taken 4 or 5 months. And now with the junior doctors going on strike, the waiting lists are just going to get knocked further and further and further back. So for my peace of mind and knowing that the results were negative, I gladly paid the 170 baht, and that was in the top Bangkok Rayong Hospital. It's just out of this world that it's so advanced in one of them hospitals. You pay top dollar for it, and if you have anything serious, you paid a lot of money. But I've said to my wife that my insurance covers me to go to one of the top public hospitals in Rayong, and I'd sooner go to the top public hospital where my insurance will go further than the Bangkok hospitals. So yeah, go get out medical insurance. It's not that expensive over here, and get it before you're 65, because when you get to 65, some of the insurance companies want you to have a pre-medical beforehand, and get it as young as you can, because then if you have any other conditions whilst you've got the insurance, after the bedding in period of maybe a year, then you're covered for everything. So swings and roundabouts, get your insurance as young as you can for as long as you can, and it starts off cheap. There's a random question. As an ex-fire officer, do you have smoke detectors in your house? Yes, I do. I've always had smoke detectors in my house, and I tell everybody to get smoke detectors. They're only £5 to buy a smoke detector. I also, funnily enough, have we've got bars at all. You can see there, bars at all the windows. So we have, this is going overboard, isn't it? But for my own safety, I've been to that many fires in houses where people have died in house fires. I have an angle grinder in the bedroom. So, for instance, if we're in the bedroom and the smoke detector didn't work for whatever reason, and I do check the battery every month, that if there was a fire during the night, we can cut the steel bars and to get out through the windows, because the steel bars in our house are in every single window, and that's just the landlady, for security. She did put bars at every single window, and that's what I tell people who live here in Thailand, who have the security bars at the windows. You need to have a plan to get out if something happened. And a smoke detector, £5, it's nothing. Could save your life one day. So yes, I do have smoke detectors. Can't see a doctor or a dentist now. Again, I'm not a dentist fan. One of my crowns here need looking at. That's 8,000 baht, but I'll wait until it all falls off, and then I'll go and see again. But I had another crown at this side, and that was 15,000 baht to get a crown put on. But it's guaranteed for life to have that crown put on. It was 8,000 baht for a normal one like that I had, that lasted for 20 years. And this one, they said the guarantee that it won't crack and it won't break, and they guarantee it for life, and that was 15,000. And I paid the 15,000, but afterwards I'm thinking I should have paid 8, because the other one lasted for 20 years. So if this one lasted for 20 years, I'd be 80-odd-year-old, and then I wouldn't care if my teeth fell out at 80-odd-year-old. Anyway, so yeah, dentist, you can go and see a dentist. Drop in at a dentist, you go and see a dentist the same day here. But it's like everything else, you've got to pay because it's private. The Thai baht is linked to the US dollar, nothing to do with the UK. No, it's nothing to do with you, because the Thai debt is linked on the American dollar, and there was a couple of little red flags that were waving around a couple of years or so ago, that Thailand were manipulating the figures because their debt was in American dollars, and they brought something down to be under the radar. But currency manipulation is certainly going on in Thailand, so maybe it's one day they will get caught out with it. And if the baht goes down against every other currency, that's fantastic. But let's see what happens. There are bigger things happening in this world than the fluctuation of money. Anything to do with money and big money business. The elite of the world control everything over here, as they do everywhere in the world. Sunak living in a multi-billionaire world, opportunist. Yeah. Again, how can somebody that's got billions of pounds ever understand the feeling that when nobody's got any money? They live in different worlds. 80,000 pounds a year as an MP. Fantastic amount of money for what work they do. Les, such a nice YouTuber. His video other week was 3 hours. Compare that to other ones. Again, other live streamers and things like. There's Dave from up in Surin. He does a live stream. Got to love Thailand. He's a nice guy, American guy. I've got time for Dave. Have a look at his live stream. Got to love Thailand. Again, he talks every 2 or 3 days. He does a lot more live streams than me, and he's a nice, genuine guy. He's lived here for 5.5 years now, and he's as honest as the day is long, and he tells it how it is as well. Hope your mother gets better soon, Les. Sadly, she died maybe 6 years or so ago now. But she was 80-odd-year-old, so she'd had a good innings. Sadly, she had dementia in the last couple of years of her life as well. But yeah, when she had skin cancer, she had some big gnarly holes in the legs because they had to dig the skin cancer out. I had my son-in-law build a wall around my udon as it's best about straight as a corkscrew. I'm sure he was inebriated when he was done it. Never again. Yeah. See, the thing is, the Thai people don't like to say no. When I had my coffee shop many years ago, I did ask somebody to do some tiling, and he was a perfectionist with the tiling. The tiling was brilliant. Then I asked him if he knew anybody that could put a new door on, because I wanted a bigger door, putting a wider door so I could get the motorbike up into the shop. Yeah. He said, I can do it. Well, he was like a wood butcher, and he just, I had no idea he didn't have the tools to do any woodwork. I had to lend him a plane, I had to lend him a saw, I had to lend him a screwdriver. And I'm thinking, after an hour or 2 hours, I just said, listen, stop, because he cutting some of the plywood up that would have gone back in place, because it just looked like jigsaw. I said, hey, stop, I'll finish it myself, I'll do it myself. And I put it on myself. But Thais don't like to say no, because if they say no, they're going to lose money. But, get the right people to do the right job. Les, do you miss Whitby? I love Whitby. I've always loved Whitby. And Whitby has got some fun memories for me. I did some wonderful work in Whitby. I worked for a guy that used to renovate old properties in Whitby. And he had tradesmen, proper tradesmen, and well-established tradesmen. Some of the work that we did in some of the houses there was just like, wow, just best tradesman I've ever worked with at Whitby. And I remember in one old house, it overlooked the harbour, and it was just like a museum. And they asked me to put some like Bakelite, modern Bakelite light switches, so it looked oldie worldy, and it was oldie worldy, and it was just like walking into a museum. And he said, how much will it cost you? How much will it cost me? And there was 5 Bakelite light switches on each landing. And I said, listen, just give me rent it to me for the weekend. I'll just rent it and I'll put the light for free. Just give me the house for the weekend. So I had my family, my kids type of thing went with us as well. What a fantastic weekend. Coal fire. It was just like every room was interesting in the house. So yeah, I had some good memories of Whitby. Always have done. And do I miss Whitby? It was a part of my life. I don't miss it, but if I ever come back to England again, I will certainly visit Whitby because it's one of my favourite places. Mr. Angle Grinder Man, there's a very good risk assessment and a great idea. But that's where it is. I'm a problem solver, and as I say, it's no good being in a situation where what's going to happen if something happens. Prepare for the worst, and then you can always plan for it. So yeah, the angle grinder is in the bedroom, and the wife even asked, "Why do I keep the angle grinder in the bedroom?" And when I told her, she just went, What would you do? To get out of our house, you have to go through there's two potential places that a fire could happen: in the kitchen and also the living room, because it's like an open plan house, and there is no other way apart from going through the kitchen or going through the living room to get out of our house. And if it's full of smoke, you're going to be stuck. So yeah, or have a big sledgehammer in you and knock a hole through the wall, because the walls are only 1 brick thick in the Thai houses. Rechargeable angle grinder in case the power goes down, or is that taking it just too? I've got a hacksaw as well. Angle grinder and a hacksaw, because I even thought about that, because if the electrical fire started in the electrical box and switched all the power off, then I couldn't use the angle grinder. But you can always use a hacksaw. So I've got a hacksaw and an angle grinder in the bedroom. How often do you use your car compared to your scooter? The car gets used more than the scooter, to be fair, because we live 15-20 kilometers away from Lotus, and like maybe 35-40 minutes away from Rayong City, where we're going to do our big shopping. We use the scooter really for going to 7-Eleven or going into Banpei, or if I go out to our breakfast club, I'll take the scooter because it's easy to park. And like tonight, we're going to an event tonight, a Chinese, where it's full of food festival and stuff like that, and it's easier to take the motorbike than to try and park the car. So yeah, the car gets used a lot more than the scooter. Again, it just goes to show the scooter, for a 9-year-old scooter, it only had 13,500 kilometers on it. So that's just over 1,000 kilometers a year, which is nothing. Sorry about your mother's. Yeah, it's sad, but that's the reality of life. We're all going to go one day. So that's why I say to people, enjoy what you can, retire as soon as you can, for as long as you can, and do whatever you can whilst you can, because you're a long time dead. Perhaps meet up for a coffee. I'm always up for a coffee, and I've met many people, coffees, and I have a chat, and we put the world to right. And many people have sat on that sofa, and if you come here and sit on the sofa, you get a free coffee mug as well. You get one of them because you made the effort to come and see me. Retired and living the dream mug. All right, what else have we got here? Have a Thai wife over here in England. What is open to us all, including my mother, who wants to come as well. Have a Thai wife over here in England. What is open to us all, including my mother? Well, retirement visas, really. If you've got a Thai wife, then you can come across here on a Thai marriage visa. But your mother would have to come across on a retirement visa. So yeah, there are still, basically, once you're over 50, there's things you can do over here. But if you're less than 50 years old, it's more and more difficult. Brilliant, Les, thought of everything. I like to think that I can think of everything, but sometimes, sometimes some other people have a different view on things and you think, oh, that's a good idea. I'm always up to other people's knowledge and ideas. YouTuber Thailand Bound brought a new rule out a few months ago. Talk live for 90 minutes. After that, he takes a break. Then private members only. Yeah, well, I've got to say, Les's YouTube, Live with Les, is always going to be free. I don't charge anything to be a member of my YouTube. I don't ask for Patreons, anything to do with that. I may sell a couple of ebooks and things like that, but that's up to you. If anybody asks for any behind the scenes, I don't have any behind the scenes because everything you see is how it is. I do have a chat where you can have a chat with me for an hour, and it's $10. And if you get the information, and if you're happy with the information, you only pay the $10 once you've got the information that you've got. And if it's not what you're after, then you don't even have to pay the $10. Thailand Bound charges £45, I believe, for a 30-minute chat with him. He only gives the same information that I do. Consultation, that's the word I was looking for. Consultation. And as I say, he asks you to pay up front before he has the chat with you. I ask for you to pay after you've had the consultation, and only if you're happy with the results that I give. And $10, whether it lasts for an hour or whether it lasts for 2 hours. There's so many people have had the conversation with me through WhatsApp, face-to-face, ask whatever questions you can ask. And I do that because there's one guy, he wanted a particular answer to a particular question. It took 21 emails to answer it. And I said, listen, just ring me up for $10 and I'll tell you everything that you want. And he said, oh, you've become an e-beggar then. And I said, listen, okay then. I said, I've answered you. I said, 21 emails and you still haven't got the answers that you're particularly asking for, even though I've explained it 101 times on the same emails. I said, ring me up and I'll tell you. You can ask this whatever questions you want. I can give you the answers face to face. Never heard from him. So yeah, $10 for an hour or 2 hours consultation, cheap as chips in it. And so my channel will never, ever, ever charge any money for anybody. The information that I give is free, but I do a consultation for those people who want to know, any questions that they want. I don't have any private members, groups, things like that. I don't live the lifestyle that people live in Pattaya, where they can, talk about the gruesome ways or the ways that men want things to happen in Pattaya type of thing. I'm a happily married man. I tell how it is once you've got your girlfriend or your wife and you can live a happy life. I don't need to resort to stories and things like that. So that's me. And we've been going for 90 minutes now, an hour and a half, and I'm still halfway through my bottle of water and I've got one left. Whether we'll get to 3 hours or not, I don't know. We've still got 59 people in the house, so if anybody wants to ask any questions, just go ahead, ask whatever questions you want. And whilst the people here asking questions, I'll keep on talking. Okay. Do you know anything regarding the quality and cost of both private and public schooling near rayons, ages 5 to... I have no idea. I know it's not cheap, private schooling. The answer to that is I don't know for private schools, but I know it's not cheap. Can you go in and out of Thailand on a retirement visa as well as a marriage visa? Yes, you can. All you need to do is you can at the time of getting your retirement visa or your marriage visa, there's a thing called a multi-entry visa where you pay 4,000 baht and you can go in and out of Thailand as many times as you want during that year. And also there's a single entry visa, which is only 1,000 baht. So unless you want to leave Thailand more than 4 times a year, just get the single entry visa, 1,000 baht. And it's only if you go out of Thailand for more than 5 times, you're actually saving money. But the multi-entry visa, it's 1,000 baht. You go down to the immigration and you can get it. It's a 5 or 10 minute, and you can actually get the multi-entry visa at the Suvarnabhumi airport, just in case you forgot or whatever. But the danger is, if you leave Thailand without a multi-entry visa or a single entry visa, the minute you leave Thailand, your visa's finished and over and done with, because you've actually haven't got a re-entry permit. And that's what it is. It's a re-entry permit into Thailand. So yeah, don't forget about that. But yes, you can. And your 90 days reporting also, it starts from the minute you get back into Thailand. So if people have asked the question, for instance, if your 90 days is due before the end of, say, 31st or 29th of February, as it is this year, 29th of February, if you leave on the 28th of February, so you actually go out of the country and you return in 2 months' time, then your 90 days starts from the minute you come back into Thailand. It isn't from the 29th of February. Few people get confused over that, but it's pretty simple, really. Appreciate everything you do, Les. Top bloke. Hope you and the wife have a great day. Thank you very much. We always have a great day. The wife, at the minute, she's out selling sausages on the seafront. She doesn't do it because she needs the money. She does it because then she can have a chat with it. Because we live 24 hours a day and we're always talking English type of thing. So she goes and talks to the other people on the beach. She has a bit of interaction with other Thai people. It gives her space as well. I do my videos like today. I did the video at the aeroplane that was flying over the house. We've seemed to have dropped that a little bit, but occasionally there's a plane flies over this house every day. And I was asking people if they have an idea why the plane flies over my house every day. And today I found out the reasons why. And I went to see the reasons why the plane flies over my house every day. And I've just done the video, so that might get published today or might get published tomorrow. But it's an interesting video, well worth a watch. But it is, it's an exciting reason why the plane flies over my house every day. Appreciate it. I'm a centre-left person politically. I'm in the middle. I think all the parties are as bad as each other. There's nobody actually for the working man. They're all in it for themselves. The snouts are in the trough. They will line their own pockets first before they line anybody else's pockets. And it is the poor people that pay the highest price of everything in this world. And the wealthy get away with it. Less people don't appreciate anything. The information you provide is invaluable and it's like gold dust. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks very much, Ting Tong John. Again, I hope people get value from it. You know, I do it. This is my hobby. I like doing this type of thing. And the live streams have actually, I enjoy doing them as well. It's only a basic setup. Some other people have there's Zoom accounts and things like that where they can press a button and pictures come up, blah, blah, blah. This is the basic of basic things that I can do. And it's streamed straight through YouTube. So I don't have any bells and whistles with it. I can't do anything else but do this live stream. I can't put any pictures on and things like that. So it is what it is. I'm as honest as the day is long. I don't give any BS and I tell it how it is. But thanks very much for your support. Brian, the big bar owner in Pattaya, he said his son's private school is 20,000 baht a month in the video he made. Oh, yeah, Brian Flowers, yeah. Yeah, he was on about going to pay for his... Okay. This is my spin on it. This is my spin at 20,000 baht a year. If his son or his kids went to a normal school, they're going to get an education anyway. So the 20,000 baht that he pays for a private school education, what's that going to achieve over here in Thailand? For me, I would put that 20,000 baht into a savings fund. So when they got to the age of 20, he'll have a big cash lump sum to start a business in his son's name or something like that, or a good leg up to be able to start something. University education over here, what's he going to achieve at the end of the day? What job is he going to get? His dad runs some successful bars in Soy 6 and other things. Brian's got a business head on him, and he can turn most things into a profit. So I think with the help of his dad, he would be able to help his son out by better spending his university money or his school's education money on a proper business when he actually leaves school. That's my thought of it. University over here isn't the best. What job is he going to get that's going to provide that 20,000 baht a year or term or wherever it was? But it's not cheap. It's not cheap over here. Elon Musk probably said he has a high functioning autism. Yeah, Elon Musk, again, one of the cleverest, well, one of the wealthiest people in the world. I like Elon Musk. You know, he's not everybody's cup of tea, but I like him. Politicians are getting 6,000K, yeah, pay rise, more greedy than they're just in it for themselves. Question, after 1 year, it's an extension. Yeah, it's an extension. Yeah, people say visas, but in actual fact, you're correct, it's an extension. But people call it visas, and people get confused, visas, extensions, or whatever. Yeah, you're correct, it's an extension. Do you need a visa before entering Thailand? No, if you're from one of the countries that allowed visa exemption, you just get a 30-day visa exemption and you come into Thailand. So no, you don't need a visa. Thanks very much for the donation of $5. Thanks for the streams, Michael Mitchell. Appreciated, much appreciated. Thanks very much for the super chat. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. My father once told a politician runs with the hounds, sleeps with the chickens, and drinks with the fox. Have you noticed politicians, you know, they can't answer a straight question. They always go around the houses before they give you an answer, and then they don't give you the answer that you're asking for in the first place. Question, have you been to deep southern Thailand, such as Nath Wat Yala, Patani, Hat Yai, and the like? How did you find it? Thinking of going myself, surely. No, the further south I've been really is Krabi and Phuket. That's the furthest. I haven't even been to the islands of Phuket, but it's on my list to go. But I don't know. There is a bit of fighting going on between the Malaysian border and the Thai people with the Muslims and that down there. There's a bit of shooting and bombing going on. So I keep away from that. So yeah, there is a little bit of trouble on the borders. And again, there's a little bit of trouble with the Myanmar border and the Thai border. There's a little bit of fighting going on there. But nothing too much to mention, really. But no, in answer to your question, I don't know what it's like down there. I have no idea. Yeah, it all depends where you're from. Yeah, the big European countries in America, Australia, anything to do with Europe or the UK, you can enter 30 days. And even now the Chinese have got 30 days visa exemption. The Russians have 90 days. Also does Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan has 90 days also. So yeah, it all depends where you're from. Okay, right, next subject. Next subject should be an interesting one. Relationships over here in Thailand. Now, I've been married 4 times, divorced 3 times, married 4 times. So I am no relationship expert at all. But I've only had 3 big relationships in Thailand in the 12 years that I've lived here. And Ploy is my longest term relationship. And we've been married for coming up 6 years. So I can only go by what I've seen in Thailand and the relationship failures. I get people come to see me with, met the girlfriend on the internet and things like that, and come over to here thinking everything is going to be rosy in the garden. And in some cases it isn't, and in some cases it is. Some cases have actually surprised me. But more often than not, it ends in tears. And there are so many guys fear of losing everything over here in Thailand. And that's a well-born fear about losing everything over here in Thailand, because it can happen. When we're 30s and 40s and get divorced, as I did when I was 40s, you've still got time to recover. But if you retire at 60, 65, and you lose your little nest egg, you ain't going to recover that ever. That can be devastating. It can have devastating results. But for those people that are in that situation where they've only got one more hit, where if they buy the house, buy the car, buy wherever, and they lose it, then they're absolutely crazy. They can lose everything. So my advice would be buyer beware. Never commit anything where it's going to take absolutely every penny that you've got left in this world and promise it to give it to somebody else. There are ways and means of taking precautions over here that you do not lose everything here. And for those people who say, oh, my wife and my girlfriend, she's not like everybody else, I laugh at people like that, because I've heard it so many times. Hang on. I've got outdated drivers, apparently. Come on. Okay. So I laugh at people like that, because my wife and my girlfriend isn't like that. She's not like that. It's buyer beware when you come to Thailand. There are some beautiful, stunningly beautiful girls over here that will rinse you for every single baht that they could get. My thing that I would suggest to people, go with your gut feelings. And you might find the sweetest, most attractive, beautiful, caring, kind girl in the world, but you don't give her everything. That if the crap hits the fan, you're going to lose everything. Take precautions. You can go and see a lawyer before you agree to marry somebody, or you build a house and something like that. Always make sure that you come out on top if the crap hits the fan. And there are ways and means of doing that. And, there are plenty of ways of doing that. Go and see a lawyer before you do anything, before you build a house, before you sign up for anything. Please don't lose your life savings to somebody that you've just met. That's my biggest thing with relationships that I found with people here. Some 60-year-old, it's not a match made in heaven if your girlfriend's 22-year-old. A guy, I'll give you one story. A guy that I know built a house. He was 60-odd-year-old. She was 22. He built her a house. And after he finished the house, she finished him. And there's not a single thing he could do about it, because he didn't take any precautions. He just said, well, okay. No, she loves me. 60-year-old to a 22-year-old, of course, it's a match made in heaven, isn't it? So for me, the alarm bells are already there. And he was just stupid. And I told him what he could do. I told him how he could avoid such things. And now he's got no home in Thailand. He's with a different girl now. She's with a different foreigner. And the new foreigner that she's got, doesn't have to build a house because she's already got one. Don't become a statistic. You must like wedding cake. I do like wedding cake, yeah. But I've got to say that the divorces, yeah, I've talked through my divorces on my previous videos. It's not to do with sympathy. It's to do with, for those people that are in that deepest, darkest black hole, as I was, and there's light at the end of the tunnel. And being divorced 3 times, I had a heavy hit on 2 divorces. The third divorce was a breeze, really, in comparison to the other 2. But it still hurts. Divorces, you don't get married thinking that you're going to get divorced. But my third wife, after traveling around the world for 2 years, she wanted to go back to England, working in the same coffee shop that she worked in, live in the same apartment that she lived in, and I didn't. So we just grew apart over the 2 years. But we had a fantastic wedding in Fiji. The wedding was the best wedding I've ever had. But it was the cheapest divorce I ever had as well. But me and Ply, we've been married coming up to 6 years. And I've got to say, our wedding was just in a registry office in Bangkok. No big celebrations, no nothing, just me and her at the registry office and 2 witnesses that we didn't even know. And we spent the money that we would have spent on the big reception going to Bali for a month. Just me and her. That's what the wedding was about, was me and her. And I loved it. In the registry office, it was horrible. It's an office. There's no romance in it whatsoever. But it was the cheapest wedding that I ever had. But also, the payback was that we had a fantastic time in Bali. And I didn't pay for everybody else to get absolutely sozzled for having a wedding reception. My wife was okay with that. No big celebration at the house or the family. It's when we come back from Bali, we went to see her parents, and we had a couple of bottles of Chang and like a barbecue, and it was just the family, and that was it. So no big spend. So yeah, but I do like wedding cake because it's the same as Christmas cake. It's lovely. Question: I'm planning on retiring to Songkhla in South. The thought. I have no idea. I've never heard of Songkhla until you've just mentioned it. So I have no idea. So I can't give any advice on that. But retiring to Thailand, it's a great place. Songkhla, I'll have to have a look at that. I want to near the border as I have extended family in Penang. In Malaysia, I take it that is. Yeah, we're going to go to Malaysia. It might be next year, but we're going to go on the train from Bangkok to Malaysia, and I'm going to take my wife to Kuala Lumpur, and then we're going to go visit Penang, because it's very cheap to go on the overnight train from Bangkok to Malaysia, and she's looking forward to that as well. But we've got so many plans where we want to go, what we want to do, and travel and hotel accommodation is so cheap in Thailand and Malaysia. So you can do a lot more for a lot less money. People have asked me, did I ever think about taking Ply back to England? Well, she doesn't like airplanes anyway, and flying for 12 hours, that would be a nightmare for her on a plane. But how much would it cost me if I took my wife back to England for a month? I'd have to go and take her to the, like the London, the Edinburgh, the big places, 100, 150 pound a night hotels, cost me a fortune. Now, taking a month somewhere else, we went to Bali. That was cheap as chips to go to Bali. Even the flights there wasn't expensive. So you can have a better time over here in Thailand than, she doesn't want to go back to England. And why would I want to take her back to England, the place that I leave and I don't talk good about? I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to take you to England where it's rife with crime. People aren't very nice. You know, it doesn't sort of ring the welcome bells for Ploy to go to visit England. Oh, little black flies on my nose now. Anyway, I prefer Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam. That's definitely on our list again to go. Love Vietnam. Been with my Thai wife 12 years now, and we met in the UK. My Welsh ex-wife took me for everything I had. Yeah. Again, my second wife, she ended up the best out of all of the three wives, because when I met her, she had two suitcases full of clothes, living in a shared house. And when we got divorced, she ended up with a house with a £150,000 house with a £30,000 mortgage, and I had to pay maintenance for another 12 years on top of that. So she did quite well out with that, didn't she? And no, it wasn't my fault I got divorced. But that's a whole new story. But again, I tell my stories because I went bankrupt through that divorce also. Even though I had 4 jobs and we had 3 houses, just about buy our 4th, I still ended up going through bankruptcy. And again, I tell that story not for people to feel sorry for me, but to say to those people that were going through a hard time, I've been at that bottom of that big black hole, and there is a way out of it. And now I live a fantastic life over here in Thailand. So there is light at the end of the tunnel for those people who are suffering at the moment through hardship, or marriage breakups, or business collapses, or losing your job and things like that. There's always a solution, and it's just up to you to look at the different paths and the different ways you can obtain that, because it is possible. Good luck to those people that are in that position. Give me a call, send me an email, and we'll have a chat over it, because I'm here to help. If I can give any advice, any guidance, I'm here there for anybody and everybody. Come around, have a cup of coffee, have a sit and have a chat. Don't class solicitors as your friend. You are the cash cow to the solicitors. I hate solicitors with a vengeance. They are the scummiest people of the scummiest people in the world, solicitors and barristers. I hate them with a vengeance, because they are worse than criminals. Anyway, that's another story. The Chinese lady, Les, the woman you went globally with. Yeah, she was the Chinese girl that I went around the world with for 2 years. And then she went back to England, and so she went her way, I went my way. That was the cheapest divorce. It cost me 500 quid to get divorced. But I paid for her to go around the world for 2 years. Not a bad trade-off, really, was it? She didn't work for 2 years. I bought her everything. Right. 53-year-old and making the jump at Easter. Good for you. 53-year-old is a good age to retire. Well done. Yeah, I have large extended family in Georgetown, so I want to be closer for visits. Billy Bob. Yeah, family are very important. There's lots of people don't move or don't make the move for family reasons. We all have our feelings with regard to that family and that, but my view on that is that we live anywhere in the world 24 hours away from getting anywhere in the world. So it's 24 hours notice too long for you to get somewhere? So like if somebody said to me, because somebody said to me I was very selfish moving halfway across the world, because if my daughters needed me for any reason, I wasn't at the end of a phone. I couldn't just drop everything and go and see them. But yes, I can. It'll cost me £400 or £500 to fly back to England. Not that my daughters speak to me now, because I'm worse than anything, because my daughters don't like me anymore, because I've been poisoned by the wife for so many years. But in reality, anywhere in the world, you're only 24 hours away from it. So you can make them decisions and go and see them if something hits the fan. 24 hours. Is that too much to ask? Otherwise, you could be living in the country waiting for that one phone call that may never, ever, ever happen. And you're living your life for the thought of if your daughters or somebody relation wants you for that 1 minute or 1 hour. You're only here once. So live your life how you want to do it. You can always make compromises. Hi Les, I will be renting when I move out, hopefully with your help. Ultimately, I would like to buy a house, not a condo, because of my dog. If I lease the land, can I buy, or do I need a wife first? No, you can lease the land. You can lease the land from a Thai person for 30 years and build your own house when all said and done. You can get one of them like a partner cabin thing, where it's just on stilts or something like that. So you could even sell the house afterwards, and by renting the land, that's a good way of doing it also, because it means that they can't sell the land for 30 years. And let's say you're 60 when you retire. So you're 60 when you come here. If you lease the land for 30 years, because it's going to make you 90. Now, are you going to live to 90 years old? Let's hopefully that you do. But then you can draw into the agreement a 30-year plus 30-year. So then that gives you more than enough time to do that, to lease it on the land. I was thinking about leasing the land next door to me, just so nobody can build a house there, because we like it here, because we have our privacy. And again, it's something I might look at. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, leasing the land is a good idea. And you don't need a Thai girlfriend or a Thai wife to do it. You can do it through a company or formation of a company. Or go and see a lawyer. He'll tell you the best ways of being able to do it. But yeah, that's a good way of doing it. I much prefer a house than a condo. I lived in a condo for 2 years. I've always been a house person. So living in a condo, I never, ever felt at home. I never felt it was the place I was going to call my home. Look at it. I've got a hammock there and I've got the sofa there. And I love it because I have my coffee there every morning, watching the sun come up over there. Magic. All right. I spoke to a few Malaysians and they say that the food in southern Thailand is excellent. The food in the whole of Thailand is excellent. The food in Malaysia was excellent. I stayed in Malaysia for 2 weeks. Kuala Lumpur. I loved it. And we actually stayed in Georgetown going to Penang. But we never got to Penang because I thought Georgetown was Penang. And I'm thinking, well, why do people like Penang? Because it's a horrible place, because we lived in Georgetown for 5 days and we never even got to see Penang. It was the only mistake I ever made on my round the world trip, that I thought Georgetown was Penang. But Malaysia, I liked. Nice, friendly people also. Super 8 Rescue, that's why I'm having a few days crossing the border at Padang Besar. Okay, down south somewhere. Popular route for many. Okay. Question, you are right about Thai ladies. I've been married 4 times, same as you. Don't marry a Thai that speaks good English. This one, 12 years, still don't speak English, but I speak Isan. Well, I've got to slightly disagree with you. My wife speaks very, very good English. She purposely learned English. And because we've been together now for, coming up to 8 years, we live together. So she's very, very good at speaking English. My Thai is dreadful, but it has been from day one. I've got a monotone voice, so people say to me that my Thai, I don't do the tones up or down or whatever. And although she can understand the little bit of Thai that I can speak, she said, if you try to speak to other Thai people, they have no idea what you're trying to say. So, no, my wife can speak very, very good English, and we've been happily married, and she is one of the best people, I've got to say, for truthful honesty and just a nice person. Comes top of my list. without all the girls that I've been out with, she is number one. And that's not because I'm married to her. It's because she is a genuine person. Do all lawyers speak English in Thailand? Well, you can get English-speaking lawyers that work for Thai companies, yes. And if you want Magna Carta in Pattaya, it's where I sent Kelly to sort out her condo, and I forget the name of it's an Irish, Paul I think they call him, an Irish guy that worked for Magna Carta. Speaks very good English, but he works for a law firm. Same as Benjamin Hart. He's Integrity Legal. He has a big YouTube channel over here. And although he's an American, he works for a Thai lawyer. So yes, you can have a good conversation with somebody that speaks English, can understand what you're saying, and you can get things sorted out through a lawyer. And I suggest that everybody gets a lawyer, especially if you're going to deal with properties and things like that, because you've got a lot to know. You can lose an awful lot. So take care. Buyer beware for everything. What would be the cost of leasing a plot of land being real? Approximately, I understand. Oh, I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. But the thing is with leasing the land also, it means that they can't sell it. They can't do anything with it. So even if you pay maybe 3,000 or 4,000, 5,000 baht a month to lease the land, I would imagine that's how much it would cost to lease the land next door to us. It's about the same size area of the plot of land that I've got here. But in reality, there's nothing we would do with it. People have said to me, why don't I buy it? Well, why do I want to buy it? Because, okay, it would stop people from building on it, but I don't want to spend like 500,000 baht on a piece of land that I'd have to cut the grass every week. If somebody builds a house on there, somebody builds a house on there. That's just the way it is. We've got a house next door. We've got a house that way. So if we had a house that way, I'm okay with it. There is a lot of building work going on around here. There's lots of houses are getting built around here. It's sort of an affluent, well-off area. It's sort of a well-off area, so there is no tin shacks or sheds or anything. The houses that get built around this area are quality houses. So if anybody's going to buy the land, it's going to be a quality house and quality people living next door as well, I would have thought. But who knows? But then if you have any problems, we'll just sell the house and move somewhere else. Easy as that. This house would sell, no problem whatsoever. Everybody that's been here loves the house. Everybody, that likes the house. It's in a nice area. It would sell tomorrow very, very quickly. So that sort of went on a little bit about relationships over here in Thailand. It can be good, but it can be bad also. Go with your gut feeling. My friend told me some good advice. First of all, when we first came over here to Thailand, he said that, the 3-strike rule. If you think she's up to no good, the first time might be a bit of paranoia. The second time, you're probably not right. You're probably right. But the third time, you're definitely right. So get shot, move on to somebody else. Don't live in the fear of what they're doing. Phone calls. I don't have any locks on my phone, my iPad, my computer, anything. And neither does my wife. I've got to say my wife is probably one of the most honest and reliable people I've ever met in my life. She's fantastic. Why do people have little scooters and try to make the exhaust sound like Kawasaki 1300cc? Les, have you watched YouTube channel the Narrowgate? I find him very honest and informative about Thai life and living in Thailand. I haven't, no. I will actually give that a look. Yep, I'll give them a look tonight. The Narrow Gate. I'll have a look at that tonight. One of the other people that I do like to watch is Life in Thailand with Ben. He's the guy who's built the house in the middle of nowhere, and he's got no electricity, and he's living off grid. Big house. He used to be a chef in England. Fantastic guy. I love his channel. I love his laid back life of what's going on. And he's going to start a coconut farm, I think. He's got enough land on there. It's a beautiful, stunningly beautiful house. And he's a nice guy. And he looks like a genuine guy as well. So I've got a lot of time for him. I don't actually watch many other YouTubers' videos because they all have their own little niches. They all have their own little, sentiments about living here in Thailand. I don't watch any of the patio ones because patio isn't my niche type of thing. And other people tell me if I spoke to Nick Dean, I'd get a lot more numbers. But Nick Dean's channel is all about size 7 and the entertainment areas of patio. I'm in a different niche to that. So, okay, I'd welcome a lot more subscribers. But in reality, the niches are totally far away from each other. So I'd probably lose them subscribers anyway. I'm a slow channel that's still growing. I've got 9,250 subscribers at the minute. So, and it's growing. So I expect to get to 10,000 by the summertime easily. Some people call my channel boring because it's about everyday life. Living here in Thailand, there's nothing, exciting about my lifestyle. It's just like everybody else's lifestyle. And I'd live the same lifestyle if I lived in England. But I live in Thailand and it's got sun and it's warm. I do the grass like everybody else. I do the dishes. I fix the house. I mow the grass every now and then. I water the plants. It is what it is. And, it's exciting that I bought me motorbike. That's the most exciting thing that's happened this week. Apart from my trip to why I found out why the plane was flying around this morning. That was nice to see. But that video will come out today or tomorrow. So, yeah, I live a normal life that normal people do. Life isn't exciting 7 days a week for 365 days of the year. I still have my off days, as everybody does. I live in the middle of the countryside. This is my dream, living in the countryside. It's one thing I always wanted to do when I lived back in the UK was move into the country area. Unbelievably expensive. There's no way I could afford that, but here I can afford it. I'm surrounded by lakes. I'm surrounded by beaches, beautiful people, beautiful places, very, very little crime. What more could I ask for? But some people think that's still a boring life. I do me YouTube, which keeps me busy. I do a little bit of solar. I keep my hand in with the electrics, helping other people out. I have subscriber meetings every week. I have a brunch club every week. So 7 days a week, I've got something going on. I'm never, ever bored. But some people, that's not what what are you looking for in life? What are you looking for? Why do people want to come here? Because they want to escape the bad situation that they're in the home countries. And you can do that here. But some people will call it boring. Let's have a look. I'm going to live in Les. My girlfriend lived in a fun room in Central Pattaya with a mosquito problem. She bought a DEET mosquito spray and the one you spray in the room. Anyway, it's a cooler room. No, it basically, if you live in a fan room, if you live on the top floor and the roof is the concrete ceiling, then the place heats up like a brick, like a thermal brick, and it'll radiate that heat all the time. I would go find a property that's in the shade and it doesn't get the sunlight onto the building, because if the sunlight hits the building, it's going to warm the building up. And if it's on the top floor and it's a concrete roof, then, I mean, my coffee shop was like that. In the room where we used to sleep, we used to have the air conditioning on because the whole building was like a brick. So I on the roof I put shade cloth, which helped tremendously because it stopped heating up the concrete. Yeah, go look for a room that's in the shade, or it's on a different part of the building, or it isn't on the top floor. You can't do nothing really with that. With a fan, a fan doesn't really cool it; it just moves the air around you. So yeah, go look for a house or an apartment that's in the shaded areas. And the mosquito problems, yeah, I mean, if you've got mosquito nets on the windows, that helps. But just give the room a big spray with mosquito repellent or mosquito killer, and then that'll get the mosquitoes down. Listen to the LBC radio phone in the other morning about white children being racist to brown and black kids in British schools. Listening to the disturbing calls about 5-year-olds and 9-year-olds. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't want to get into the racist stuff or things like that because I think everybody in the world, there's so much like wokeism, you know, with gender specific and, you know, gender-ish and, you know, ladies being men and men being ladies. You know, we've turned the world upside down, you know. So no, I don't want to get into that type of thing, but the whole world has gone crazy. I thought I don't want my Thai stepdaughter, and if I had a baby with my girlfriend going to school in Britain. Education in Britain is certainly going to be better education than in Thailand. But also, if you brought a Thai person up in England where they don't speak Thai, then you're just going to penalise them when they come back to Thailand because they won't be able to speak Thai. And then they may have dual citizenship, Thai and English, but they'd struggle to get a job over here also because if they can't speak Thai, then, you know, nobody really wants them. But if they can speak Thai and English, then, you know, that's good for the tourism section. So it swings and roundabouts, really. You've got to look into it and look at all the swings and roundabouts and the possibilities of, you know, their future when they get to the age of working. If you take the choices away from them, then it's going to be hard for them to get a job in the future. Now, there's a guy that I know that used to self-educate his little girl, but now they've ended up sending her to school because they've realised that home education or homeschooling isn't the way, you know, because it takes, you know, you've got to become a part of the community and people working in or people going to school, it gives them, you know, communication skills with others. If you just keep the child alone all the time at the house, where's the social skills going to develop? School is a big thing for that. Also, they get friends and, you know, relationships and bonds growing up as a child as you need, and that's very important also. Yeah, maybe she's on the second floor or third. Yeah, if you're on if it's a 3-story, the second floor is probably the better option. Then the ground floor is certainly the best option because, you know, heat radiates downwards type of thing. So yeah, I would say look at a place that's in the shade. Okay, children, yeah. Your sound is crackling. That might be the water sprinklers in the back of us. I don't know. If it's starting to crackle now, we've been going on now for 2 hours and 18 minutes crackling. Okay. I've had the laptop looked at. I went to the shop. I might have to go to another shop to get it looked at if it's still crackling again. I'll have a listen to it myself through the live stream replay, and I'll see what it is. I apologise if it's interfering with your listening, but it's this way. It's my older laptop, and the guy looked at it, and last week it wasn't making any crackling noises, and like, you're the only second person in 2 hours and 20 minutes said there's a bit of crackling going on in the distance. Doing the best to teach her English, teaching her new words, nuclear missiles, inflation, furnished and unfurnished rooms, etc. Falang, you need to go and find a falang. A falang, you don't need to work once you marry a falang. I'm married to a wonderful Thai lady for 9 years, speaks good English, and trusts with my life. There are some good ones, like any country. Exactly, 100%. There's good and bad in every country. Sounds like you've got a good one. Same as me, I've got a good one. They are out there. They are some nice people. There are some 100% trustworthy people that are looking for a good lifestyle as well. Now, the difference between me and Ploy is 27 years, well, 26 years and 7 months, I think it is. So let's say 26 years. So that's a big age difference. But we get on like a house on fire. We share most things, and both of us like doing. We like our holidays. We spend time together. There's some guys that I know can't wait to get away from their Thai wives. I'm the opposite, We live a good lifestyle together. I don't get fed up with her being here and vice versa. And we do what we want to do because we can. And that's one of the best phrases that we like using, because we can. So to get that click and that bond and the chemistry together is a unusual thing. But when it does happen, it works very, very well. And I've got to say, I'm probably the most happiest I've ever been in my life. I've got a beautiful wife, intelligent, witty, kind, caring. I think that's enough. She's a lovely girl, 1 in a million. And I hope that everybody on here finds their 1 in a million girl here, because they are out there. Yeah, the sound does add a little crackle from the start. It's not nearly as bad as it was. Don't worry, Les. Yeah, well, it is what it is. It's an old laptop type of thing, so it's gonna go. And apparently, because it's now the season of high humidity, I've got 2 hard drives, both packed in this week, a 2 terabyte one and a 1 terabyte one, and when my wife rang up the computer shop, they said, "Oh, humidity can cause the problems." So there we go, humidity. But 2 hard drives, and I'm going to have to go and to get all the information downloaded to a different hard drive now, because at the end of the day, it needs to be fixed, because I've got such a lot of information on 2 of the hard drives that work sometimes and doesn't work sometimes. And talking to my wife, she's just coming back now, so she's just finished. So what time is it now? It is 6:07. So she's still got a few sausages left, so it looks like we're going to have sausages for tea. But she enjoys it. It gets her out on the weekend, and she meets other people, and she puts the Thai world, talks about the Thai crap like we talk about the English crap. Okay, right. What else have we got here? Just reinstalled from the task manager. It's been crackling from the start, but thought it was me. Yeah, well, the guy who looked at it for 2 hours, and he couldn't tell me wife what he did to it, but he said, "I fixed it." But obviously he didn't. Then she told me she thought abortion was wrong. As the Buddhist, as I Catholic non-practicing, I'm against it. Well, yeah, but that comes to do with 2 people coming together, and they've got their own views, and there's nothing I can say about that apart from you'll sort it out yourselves. So one way or another, somebody's going to be upset with something or another. Just get on with it, and you're both right. and it's come to a compromise when all said and done. Such is life, compromises. That's one water gone. I've got one more left. And then I might have a Chang later on. Who knows? Let's see. Oh no, I'm going out. That's right. I'm going out. I'm going out for a ploy. Still want to go? Oh, okay. That's why my wife's come early. She said so we can go down to the. Yeah. Okay, we're going down to have dinner at the market, the Chinese festival. So 2 hours 24 minutes. So I'll wait until. Yeah. Okay. Another 15 minutes or so, and then the time she clears everything and puts everything away, and that's a shower, and then we'll go down to there's like a festival in Banpei, and it's all like there's food and there's all sorts of things going on. I think there's a band as well. So that's where we're going to go tonight. We're going to go on the motorbike because it's easier to park than park the car. That's what I'm saying. There's always something going on here. There's festivals. There's a big kite festival on this week, as I believe, as well. The big kite festival was on in Pattaya a week or two ago, and I think it's coming up to Rayong, if I'm not mistaken. That'd be quite good fun to see the kite festival. So, okay, getting back to why the plane flies over my house every day. That was mentioned 2 hours ago, and a couple of people suggestions. I used to think it was a flight school. People were learning how to fly an aeroplane. But no, it is a skydiver, one of the biggest skydiving companies in the whole of Thailand. Drop Zone it is, and I've just done a video about it. So I'll be putting that on the internet. Won't be tonight now, it'll be tomorrow now. And watching people jump out of airplanes, skydive from 13,000 feet. And it's the highest skydiving in the whole of Thailand. 13,000 feet, and you do a bit of free fall, and they have the instructors there type of thing. You can do a full course, a skydiver's course. It's not cheap though. It is not cheap, and I put the price list on at the end, and it starts at 10,900 baht just for a basic certificate and jump out with the airplane. And then if you want somebody to take video footage of it, it costs you extra. And if you're a little bit overweight, because I think up to 105 kilos you're okay, and if you're over 105 kilos you pay extra because of the weight, because they have to use a different parachute or something like that. But I put the price list down, and it boy, does it go up very, very quickly. So when all said and done, it could cost you between like 15 and 20,000 baht for one parachute jump with a skydive. But it's very, very good fun. I did parachuting. I did jump out of an airplane at 1,000 feet 40 years ago, and I loved it, and I still remember it as if it was yesterday. And I used to do paragliding, which was brilliant. I like that. And but to do paragliding over here in Thailand, the thermals are too strong, so it will knock you about. So that's why there's a lot of paramotoring over here, because then you've got the power of the motor, which can get you out of trouble, but it can also get you into trouble as well. I used to do scuba diving, so I've done a lot of things. I flew in a stunt plane in New Zealand. That was really good fun. But yeah, the video that I did, I was there for about an hour and a half. And I'm going to do another video as well, because they had a shooting range there. So you could fire basically any and every gun that's been manufactured at a shooting range. And boy, that's not cheap either. But that's another video, and I'll do that. And so yeah, look out for tomorrow. It'll be another video about the Drop Zone skydiving place 20 minutes away from where I live. And there must have been about 20 or 30 Chinese people there today. So the Chinese people have got lots of money, and they were all very young people as well. The Chinese, some very, very, very attractive girls that were doing it as well. So there was a lot of single girls doing this activity of skydiving. So yeah. Let's have a look. She said she went to Pattaya to be a prostitute because she had no money for baby powder. I went to the bar. Her sister worked behind the bar. She said, "Do you want to sleep with me?" I said, "No." Well, what can I say? Pattaya is just one big place where you can go. Prostitute, it's a strong word, but it is what it is. And Pattaya is what it is. And, if you don't like it, you don't have to go to Pattaya. You need big ghoulies to jump out of the aeroplane. I like my feet on the ground. That's true. And my biggest height that I went to, it was in Annecy, France, and it was a 5,000 feet jump. When I jumped off the side of the mountain in France, there was no going back because it was a 1,000-foot drop once you got to the end of the jump off point. But it was a 5,000 feet glide down, and it was wonderful. A wonderful, wonderful experience. But I learned how to be a paraglider in the Lake District. But I spent so many times walking up and down the mountain without even taking the parachute or the paraglider out of the bag because the wind was in the wrong direction. It was too strong, not strong enough, and anything in between. But I did that for 2 or 3 years, well, for 3 years altogether, and I loved it. It was good fun. But you can do a parachute or a skydiving course here, and it's 85,000 baht. And I forget how many jumps that was, but there's 1 or 2 you did with the instructor, and then you go solo. And 85,000 baht really isn't a lot of money to pay, because I was going to do well, I did a 1 day. It was supposed to be 3 days, kite surfing, and that was 13,000 baht to learn how to kite surfing. Then it was 65,000 baht for the equipment. So that almost came up to 85,000 baht as well. So anyway, no more jumping out of airplanes for me. I'll keep my feet on the floor. That's the much safest. Mentally disabled man comes into the bar, loose change. The old lady came in, gave the loose change. Then my future girlfriend was at the pool table, took her to the hotel off Walking Street. Well, that's just your life, isn't it? Go and do what you need to go and do. It's up to you. So I made her laugh because I was drunk with her in the shower, fell asleep naked on top of the other, and forgot to pay. The next morning, okay. Okay, well, life experience, just it is what it is. You like it or you don't like it. We all have choices, and you can go and do whatever you want to do over here. Life is full of choices. Life is full of different pathways, and you choose your own pathway, and you go and do whatever you want to go and do, rightly or wrongly. If you think it's the right thing to do, well, then, you go and do whatever you want to do. There's no rights or wrongs in this lifestyle. It might go against the grain to some people, but other people would agree with you. Life's full of choices. But be a nice person, be a nice man. People like nice people. Nice people attract nice people. But be a dick, be a negative person, and you'll attract negative people. And you'll attract not the right people. But that's up to you, isn't it? Whichever way you want to do. I stay well away from negative people and the naysayers. The people whose glass is always half empty. I don't need to associate with people like that, because I can walk away from people like that. I'll give everybody a chance, and everybody, have got their own comments. But at the end of the day, I don't have to associate with the negative people or the naysayers, because there are enough nice people out there to be nice people. So be a nice person, do good unto others, live a happy life. And then if you do that, all the world is rosy, isn't it? But live a negative life and everything's negative. Went to Thailand as I have Asperger's and could not get a girlfriend in Newcastle. Went to Bangkok first, then Chiang Mai. There's Thailand, as I said, there's all sorts of, disabled people get girlfriends over here. People, that have issues, if you like, can still get a girlfriend over here. They are much more forgiving over here and tolerant of people over here, which they aren't in the UK or America or Australia. So just be a nice person. If you're a nice person, you're a nice person. There's nothing more to say about that, is there? Okay, termite walking. Okay, we'll end the stream on that one now. Because I'm going to go have a shower and then we're going to go down with some food. So 2 hours 35 minutes has got to be one of my shortest live streams, but I've got other things to do. So thanks very much for everybody who come and joined the live stream. Much appreciated. Thanks for taking part and the comments that people have made. I hope the questions were answered to the people that wanted to ask the questions. And thanks very much for watching, and thanks very much for taking part, and thanks for the 58 thumbs up for the live stream. So I'll do another one in a couple of weeks' time or so. So until then, thanks very much for watching. Look out for the video for the parachute, the skydiving. That'll be out tomorrow. So until then, goodbye, everybody. Thanks very much. Take care. Oh, Mark. Thanks very always on the last one. Thanks very much, Mark. Much appreciated. Thanks very much. Take care, mate. Best wishes. Thanks very much.